I
that
know.
though. Listen, hey,
That's
hey,
why. That's
brother,
what I'm. This is
we're
what I'm
not
explaining
talking
now.
about that. We're talking about my father being locked up, and we're talking about getting him out. And it literally, he is a. They labeled him as a criminal, and we're talking about a thunderclapper that's going to go in and shake the world. Let's work with that. We're not talking about contractual law. Everything deal with contract. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about anything else you're talking about, but all of that is in retrospect. But we're talking
Right.
about
So
criminal.
this
Criminal,
is
criminal, 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 criminal. This is
listen.
what we're dealing with.
Right. So when I'm explaining, when people ask me why I'm not asking questions about contract law, or why I'm not asking questions about corporate law, it's those things are not his. He's a criminal, a defense attorney. So I got to ask him the questions that I would ask the criminal defense attorney that I would be sending in to get my father, as if I don't know none of the
Then
stuff I
nobody
know
asking him the
already.
right question. Nobody asked the question.
That's what.
So just
That's
so
my.
support.
That's my point. That's my point. So the questions I'm asking them, I was trying to stay in his area of law, which is criminal law, right? Um, Uma asks, that what about conspiracy?
Man,
What does
conspiracy is just conspiracy is a made up story in your own head. We're not dealing with that. We're dealing with facts. We're dealing with black and white. It's on paper.
no?
We're dealing with saving
Look,
my father.
conspiracy is
Listen,
it? Is
listen, 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 listen. We can be conspiratorial, right? We can make up shit in our head. That's what conspiracy means. Making shit in your head. But it's on black and white. What the law deal with is that this person has done this on this date, on this time, and we are going to lock you up. You understand?
Question. Abraham can address that question though. I can address that question. You know,
Go ahead.
conspiracy and Jake York, his actions conspiring to put Dr. York in jail. Is that what you're saying?
right. So all of the ones that conspired together to fabricate the case.
That was one of the issues that I had in the trial. Conspiracy is a cargo. That's one of the things, subtle theories I had in my trial. And that's why when the jurors came back after the trial and thought that she hung the jury up for a while, saying that she thought he was set up. So the jury was hung initially for a while.
I remember.
And so that's that part of the address that conspiracy thing. So I think it has some teeth to it. You know, but what the way that the jury was, though, it was she got outnumbered. And so I should take her out the jury.
Adrian,
I thought was a conspiracy.
Adrian, enough. Adrian, enough. You came, you asked questions for the nation. They didn't have no answers. Just show some support.
Right.
That's the issue with conspiracy. Is that what you were saying? Like conspiracy?
Yeah, what you answered the question because you said that was one of your original premises of the case.
Right.
So we know that the attorney already had a suspicion to follow the lead that would take him down a conspiracy trail. That's a brave attorney in and of itself.
Well, we argue that. So, and we almost got hung on that part too.
Mm-hmm.
One of the judges was convinced that he could be set up. So.
Some of the stuff about the case, I'm not asking because it goes into attorney-client privilege and he can't address. So it's certain stuff that people asking now that I'm seeing in the chat that I can't ask because I can't do it because he can't violate attorney.
Ask it, and then we'll tell you that's not. We're not at liberty to say. Ask.
Okay. So Baba was going to his own private doctor since the 70s and never had STD. And in the case, they came up with a paper saying he had an STD. And since he's been in prison, the STD doesn't exist. And this was supposed to be a genetically traceable strain of herpes.
It's actually kind of privilege. I can't answer that question. That's correct.
I know that's why I didn't ask. I'm not an attorney, but I know how to
keep going. What's the next question? We already know the answer to that, and they lied. But go ahead.
Okay, somebody that this is a really good question. When someone has been locked up as long as he has, can the only motion can they do a sentence reduction motion?
What?
But that's
What? Say that again.
is a good question, but not really. You can do how would it call? There's some motions you can file, but not a reduction motion. Like when we got proper, you can file some things, but not a reduction motion at the point. Unless without the new trial motion, we get no grounds or something I can then cancel it indirectly. Yes, that may be one thing I do indirectly once I get my motion. If that's accepted, then maybe that's when I turn back for it. So I think you're gonna be more indirect.
Yeah, and that would fall under the cruel and unusual punishment side of sentencing, right?
And that would be, when we got another traction on what I'm trying to get with a new trial. That would be one option that would be looking at. If I have to show up an argument, but the front arguments I have when I try to attack this state case and things like that, other issue don't bring up, strong enough that I can then answer as an alternative resolution to this instance.
Okay. Well, I know your time valuable, and we held you in here longer than we probably intended to, or you probably wanted to be here. But this was an important issue for the people of the land, because we've been fighting this fight too long not to have a result, and he not the only one in a similarly situated condition, right? So we had to make right. So we had to bring this out to garner the support for those who believe in the system. I don't personally, but for the ones who believe in the system and then believe that they can make it work, we still have to present them with the opportunity to fight this fight the way they know how. Right. So we appreciate you taking your time to come over here and talk to us and get the message out and to support Dr. Malachi and his family.
Thank you for taking the time, making the space for me to talk. So let me know anything you need to talk to me again. I'll be happy to talk. All right.
Okay.
Thank you for the help too. All right.
All right. Appreciate it.
But how we show support? How we gonna pay this guy? Let's do this. Let's make it happen. You hear me, right? Right, Gorilla.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the attorney gone. So a lot of where people was talking about that I didn't ask about was about you, because we already know this particular attorney is not fluent in tribal law, because
Right.
we already discussed that, me and you, right? So I can't take him down the path of tribal law. That's not his area. I can't take him to corporate law. That's not his area. I can't take him to all of those other areas. I had to stick to the area that he's familiar with, which is criminal law and the defense of criminal law. And from what he told us earlier in the call, somebody kept asking about his win-loss record. He said he only lost a couple of cases in 30-some years.
Cases out of like hundreds of cases.
Right. So, well, he's been working 30-some years. But
And
I had to try to, right, now,
3 losses.
right. And we know,
One of the 3 losses he had was the case with my dad.
Right. So what's happening now is I understand your frustration, man. But if my pops was locked up for 22 years, I think I'd have did it something by now to figure out another way. But I'm not going to put that on public record. But that's between me and you. I know how. That's letting you know that I understand your feeling and your sentiment. And because a lot of people that might be watching might think that you're going too hard. I don't personally think that. But a lot of people, they want to hear Rod Hayes talk when
they didn't stop anything. I'm going hard.
Supposed to. Care. Right. So what we doing is different from what the attorney doing. What I'm doing is different from what the attorney doing. Right. If I had to send an attorney in, I would be sending them in like the messenger that Xerxes sent to Leonidas to offer him air and water if he lucky, right? So that's the kind of lawyer that I would be sending in there. But because you asked me, to show the support for your father by letting him know what you doing, this is the fruits of your labor. And we got two different methods of fighting this conflict. And yours is what you know, and mine is what I know. And I can't try to force how I'm fighting into your field of view because you got to fight it your way. And I can't interfere with that, but I can show support by letting people make their own mind up to support.
I got that. And you got to understand. Let's eat. Let's not even play the game. Let's get dad home. I'm not playing that shit. I brought him on your platform. We've been transparent. What lawyer ever came there and say, answer questions, and nigga was scared to ask questions?
Man, I ain't never seen no shit like that.
That
Lawyers, they
Black
normally
folks
answer the questions in their office, but they won't answer questions outside their office. Even in the courtroom, they don't want to answer you.
And
so,
niggas was scared to ask questions.
No, they were just no, they wasn't. They wasn't scared.
I'm disappointed in my people.
They didn't.
I thought black folks was gonna swing. They scared to swing. Let's be honest.
Ishmael, look, it ain't that they were scared to act. Ibrahim. My bad, I keep getting y'all mixed up, bro. But look, it ain't that they wasn't asking questions, but they was asking questions that was outside of his scope of knowledge in the law. I'm trying to stick to what he can do according to what he know, just to get the message out that there's an attorney willing to take the case, that's familiar with the case. And for the ones that believe in the system, y'all can support Ishmael in getting this.
No, Ibrahim.
Ibrahim, my bad. Y'all can support Ibrahim in getting this money together to fight the case the way he know how. But my approach is just different, right? And one of the ways, whether it's your way or my way, one of them finna work. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, one of them finna work. And we gonna see.
Maybe all of them finna work.
They all might work, but I had to give you the opportunity to use my platform for anything you try and do to free your father. Even if it's something that I don't agree with or don't participate in, as your brother, I have to bring you out into the public and let you speak your piece. And you had me ask the attorney some key questions. And I was just trying to get a gauge for the fighting the dog.
You could have went harder. You could have went harder.
I was just trying to get a gauge for the fighting the dog, but I'm seeing, where he at with it, because for him to even consider conspiracy in the early stages of the case, that's something that attorneys normally don't do.
We see that, right?
Yeah, they normally duck conspiracy at all costs because it's too easy to prove. It's too easy to. Once you prove that conspiracy, you didn't single-handedly dismantle their system, and this is why the attorneys don't want to bring conspiracy. And he addressed the conspiracy as an operational part of the defense out the beginning, and brought up the hung juror that I was well aware of that was resisted because she thought that it was a setup.
Good shit. Nice one. That's real. You know that. You saw that, right? You picked that shit up. Good stuff. That's all I gotta say. That's good stuff, right? You're a smart brother. Not little, but brother. You're smart.
I'm working on it, man. I'm trying to get that. My mama kept telling me that shit. I don't see it, but she did. So
no, but that's some real shit. Yo, you caught that. Like, come on, man. We can't let that shit slide. We can't let them keep on beating us up. No way. But I appreciate what you did. I appreciate the opportunity, Rod. I appreciate it. I appreciate the platform. You know what? You're my brother forever. And
for sure. I tell you what.
Gorilla. Let's go. That's that
and
real.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Shit on us. Let's go. All right.
So look, I'm gonna let you roll out, man. I appreciate you coming over and keeping up the fight for your pops. I ain't gonna stop fighting till I see victory. So I can be. I don't have to like it though. You gotta remember that part. People don't be remembering me telling them if I do something, I don't have to like it. I don't have to like attorneys to present that this is the way that you fighting for your father. I don't have to like it, but I have to
Doesn't
show
matter. Doesn't
my
matter. I
due
already saw what
diligence
you
and the
did.
support.
I already saw what you did. That was enough. Understand that nobody did shit like that. And my father is innocent. And I'm gonna be here. And I appreciate you. You
For sure.
understand, King?
We gonna break bread. We gonna break
Gorilla,
bread.
gorilla.
Well, we gonna break bread with my chief and your pops. We gonna
Let's
break bread.
go.
We gonna
Let's
we gonna.
go. Let's go
It's
to the
coming.
world blow. To the world blow.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And don't forget, the fat lady sung at the end of the Olympics, and she said she did it her way.
Let's
Okay.
go.
And that's
And
the
I
that's the.
appreciate everybody.
And I was telling them, look for the fat lady to sing at a public spectacle, because that means that it's over. And this shit about to be over. But you got to fight your fight. You have to do your due diligence. I don't have to agree with you to support the fact that you fighting. It's when the people ain't fighting and they bitching and complaining and they ain't doing nothing that I don't want to help them.
That's strange to us. So we're not dealing with bitches. Like I'm just saying, I'm in the war. And I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you. You didn't have to do it, but you did, didn't you?
I did it because it's for your pops. It's for a worthy cause. The righteous, should no longer suffer for the indignations of the wicked.
Let's do
And
this, brother.
and so we have to do our part. We don't have to always agree with everything. That's when we had that long conversation about two strategists with two different strategies. This is how you keep from colliding on the battlefield from two different angles. Y'all work together, even though
I
y'all
can
don't
do
agree.
next week. Let's do this next week.
Yep.
I'll
Just
bring
hit me up
some more.
whenever you're ready. Just hit me up. We come back on and we put it out there for the people to be able to make their own minds up. And
Yeah,
in the tribal
exactly.
tradition, didn't want to say this in front of him because I didn't want to spook him off. But in the tribal tradition, we put stuff in front of the people for the collective to give us the energetic support that's stronger than the physical.
I got to go ahead to take over from my father. And y'all
It's,
heard that shit. Y'all want
it's,
some more? I'm
it's,
about to post some more.
yeah. Tag me in and I'll
Damn.
share it.
Expeditiously. But I appreciate you. Understand?
It's all same here,
I appreciate
brother.
you. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Oh, well, there you go. He dropped out. Okay. Okay. So, is it anybody in here that got something that they want to discuss before we go? So, a lot of people probably not really understanding that I don't like attorneys. I don't trust them, and I don't do fundraisers because people been raising money in these people misery. But when the brother reached out and then his pops is talking to this guy on the phone, even if I don't agree, right? Even if I don't like attorneys, even if I don't do fundraisers, the brother is fighting for his father the way he know how. I have to present his case to the public and let the people decide if he following the path that he feel is going to be most functional in getting his father out, right? So I'm just showing the support and exposing to the public that this fight is serious. This is not a game. This is not a joke. This is not a dance contest. We really, 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 literally been fighting a war for 500 years since Columbus sailed his stinking ass over here, parked on Hispaniola, and renamed it to Hispaniola from the name that the people of the land. And then they just started naming our shit and taking. They even named us. A lot of these tribes, y'all hearing these tribal names, Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, those are exonyms. Those was the names the settlers gave to the people that they couldn't pronounce the name that the people gave them. So I still had to present the case. I still had to let the public make their own mind up. And I still got to let everybody be their own judge of what they see taking place in front of them. I know we in continuity of government process, reconstruction phase, the final phase of continuity of government, transfer power from DC, which is now defunct. You can go on to the White House page, and at the top of the page, it's going to tell you that this is a page frozen in time for historical record, and it will not be updated no more. The only way they won't update a presidential executive order page is if they no longer have a president to issue executive orders. All of this stuff is to keep us, those nappy hair, red skin, Mississippi walking